Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday, and we're back with episode 9 of Let's Get Funded. I gotta break this down for you guys. I think this is so informational that, what I went through last night, I think you guys can take a lot from it. I had one of the most emotional nights I had in trading since, like, I don't even know when, man. It was crazy. I had a bias in my head. I went with it, and then I got out because I was, like, not scared, but unsure. And then I took another trade, lost, and then I took I'm telling you, and I ended up winning. But I'm telling you, you guys gotta, I gotta break this down for you guys. I think this is information. Everybody goes through this. Every trader goes through this, and I gotta show you guys what I did to overcome those emotions. How I came out profitable at the end of the day. It was barely profitable, but I was profitable. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the charts. Deuces. Follow my Instagram. Can't forget. All right, now I'm see you guys on the chart.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? So now that we're back on the charts, I'm going to show you guys my night. And first of all, I want to show you guys my screen right here and kind of break down like what happened. 3 trades were taken. One of them was a recovery, one for the 2 losses earlier. The first loss you see there is me closing out. Getting in and just closing out. I don't really consider that a loss. It wasn't even 0.5%. The second one was a full loss, right? Very big rookie mistake. And then I took my original bias again for the final last time and was able to secure my losses and more. So without further ado, I'm gonna switch time frames and I'm gonna show you guys what happened here. So first of all, I want to start off by showing you guys that this weekly time frame first, right? The first thing that I noticed is this weekly time frame is now again rejecting this 50 EMA and this supply and demand area, right? We're under here and we're awakening already. So right off the bat, I know that we have shorted from here again. There is a possibility of shorts again, right? The daily time frame was really tricky for me because you know I'm expecting a correction off this big bullish move, but the key thing here is that we do have a higher high right here. If you do see this right here, we managed to close above this wick and these wicks over here. We have closed as a higher high in the daily time frame, right? But you got to keep note of the weekly. Weekly is bearish. The daily does create a higher high. When it comes down to the 4 hour, right, guys, and I'm gonna talk a lot here a little bit and kind of tell you guys, it's okay to have these days, but you don't want them to occur frequently, right? So I come onto the 4 hour. I come onto the 4 hour and we get this right here. The weekly, it looks like a short. The daily and the 4 hour have created higher highs. If you see this high right here, this high is previous than any other high over here, breaking above all these structure points over here. So, it's tricky because you do like longs because the daily in H4, but we're at this crucial area over here. We're at this big target right here. This zone you see is a supply and demand area you saw on the weekly. So on the 4 hour, I'm like, So I'm gonna have to break structure again. I'm gonna have to come back down and retest, and I'm gonna have to go along, right? That's the only way I'll go along. And if you see, that never happened. So my longs never went through. So the longs never went through, and I still decided on long. So let me teach you guys, or let me show you guys what happened. So coming into session right here, right? Coming into session, I do notice this head and shoulders pattern, right? Boom, 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 break down there, and then it retest, right? We retest this neckline of the head and shoulders over here. So I do believe that a bearish move could start to happen right now, especially because I just saw this head and shoulders formation. We end up breaking under and we're retesting the neckline of the head and shoulders. So I do have shorts, right? So I short, I short, right? I short, and because it was 1 a.m., I closed out, right? I shorted as we broke under this zone right here, as we break under this neckline, we shorted, we went straight into profit, or we would have, but I got right out, right? I got out the second I got in here. So, you know, first of all, first mistake, if I'm in, I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out. Because we did end up just dropping all the way down to right here. Although we did manage to pull back and then drop again. So that was our original short. The original short that I wanted started off on the 5 minute right here, right? It started off with this 5 minute right here. We had our stops above here, and then we had this target area for a 2 to 1. We ended up hitting, right? So this was negative 180, as you saw on the screenshot. That was 180, and then and then something else happens, right? So then something else happens, and then I draw and I start imagining this trend line right here, right? I start imagining this trend line right here. And then what I see is this trend line, right? We see this trend line. I'm gonna mark off what I see. We get one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, and then we break above right here, right? I see this little structure change right here. Boom, boom, and we break above, and I enter longs, right? And I enter longs. We go long. I place my long position. I set it up to the highs, right? And I come back down here and we got smoked. As you see, we got smoked. We got taken out immediately. And now at this point, right, I'm going to set the positions that I had at this point. At this point, we have a trade that we would have won over here, and we have a trade that we lost over here. Completely smoke came right back down and took us out. So I'm going crazy here, right? I'm going nuts. I'm annoyed because my original bias, which I originally entered off of, was correct the entire time. If I only had this one, I'd be up on 2% of the night to start off the week. Instead, we're down 1% between these two positions right here, right? And the annoying thing is the mental aspect of it, the emotions, right? Is shorting, and then you're going long. And here, man, I just want to call it a night. I only risk 2%. 2%. I only expose 2% of my account per night, right? So I'm already at 1%. Between these two, I'm at 1%, right? And I start to think, I'm like, okay, listen, we're going short. We already went short, and now and now we took a long position and got taken out to go short. So I'm very confident that I'm looking to go short. But the scary thing is risking another percent in an account challenge to go, in the same night, right? I always prefer to lose. If I lose, I just lose and I come back the next night. I only risk 1%. Next day is a new day. But this was a different case. I really, really, really believed we were gonna go short. I had this little, brain fart or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know where I would decided to go long. I saw this little trend line being broken. Mind you, this wasn't really nothing at all. And it really just messed me up, man. I haven't had a night like this in a while. These are two position takings in one night, and now, going after this, what had happened was is I was afraid to take a trade, right? And when you're afraid to place a trade, that's when nothing good goes right. And if you're going into the charts without confidence, you're gonna lose, right? You have to believe yourself. You have to be confident in your trade. And I was scared, man. I was like, bro, man, like no way, right? No way. So I cleared everything. I cleared everything as I am right now, and I'm going to show you guys what I actually ended up doing. So I'm going to get rid of this last candle, and I'm going to show you guys what I saw after. So I went down and I was like, listen, if we're going to go short, I'm going to cash this because that's my original bias. I'm not okay with losing the way I did. I'm not okay with going long the way I did. I'm going to go short. So you know what? I drew my market structure. I went back, I marked off my areas, and I drew market structure, right? Higher high, higher low. We have equal high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. I'm gonna point out the pivot points to you guys, right? This is what you guys and I should continue to do. If you're feeling it, the way I did, I was discombobulated, I was confused, I was just mad because this hasn't happened in a while, right? So this is what I did. I just reset and marked off my pivot points, right? We have a higher high, higher low. We have a higher high pivot point or an equal high pivot point. We have a higher low. We have a higher high. If we're gonna go short, at the end of the day, we need to break structure. So to be honest, I realized any short that came without, in here was just, a premature move. Could have gone my way, but premature, right? Because this on the 4 hour is a higher low to a higher high. We need to break structure. Remember, we need to break structure for us to continue to go short, right? So that would be this, right? That would be this right here, as you see. Oh, come on. As you see, this is what happened, right? If we're going to create a higher high, we need to break structure just like this, come up and retest this pivot point. So I was like, okay, listen, that's what I'm going to wait for, right? So I have that exact formation, right? If you look over here, that exact formation. So I'm just going to wait for this pivot point. I'm going to wait for this pivot point to be broken. Oops. I'm going to wait for this pivot point to be broken. So let's go to the 1 hour, right? I'm gonna make the chart a little clearer for you guys. Sorry if it's so cluttered. I hope you guys just keep up, right? I'm gonna keep it clear, and I'm gonna mark off the pivot point that needs to be broken. This pivot point needs to be broken, right? That's the higher low. Once we break that, we're breaking structure, right? So now a couple hours go by, right? And this is what happens. This is what happens, right? Um, this was insane. This was really crazy. So this is the pivot point. I'm looking to go short under here, and look what happens, right? There was no retest, just straight melting. So I took an impulse entry in here. I took stops up here, and I targeted all the way down to this zone for 3 times my risk. Okay, so as as we broke the previous pivot point, basically breaking market structure, which we should have waited in the very first place, right? We ended up going short, and we went straight into profit and smacked TP1, which is this blue line. We smacked TP1 for 35 pips. Price actually ended up coming down to 60, and this is where we closed. Price then pulled back, played a little bit to then hit our zone later in the morning in New York session, right? We pulled back, we retested this little blue area, and then we ended up touching our zone for full TP. This was the trade, right? Beautiful trade, no drawdown, right? But again, this came after losing one time or losing twice, and then this was more of a recovery trade. We recovered our losses plus more. So I'm not happy. It could have gone wrong, but this is how you guys come back from a night like this. It was emotional. It was annoying. It's so annoying when the trade goes your way and you got taken out, or it's annoying when you're unsure and you go out and it goes your way, right? So you know this is a trade in which I really had to control my emotions. It was easy for me to call it a night, go to bed, and then end up with a losing night. But I was really sure that we were gonna go short. Again, at the end of the day, just clear your mind, clear the charts, and see what you need. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, listen, I need to break structure, and that was a structure that needed to be broken. And it was this pivot point right here. Once this pivot point was broken, price just absolutely melted at that area and just dropped for 80 pips in total. We did secure about 55, actually. It was like 55 pips. So listen, I'm not mad about it. We recovered our losses. We made a losing night into a winning night, but it happens, guys. That is trading. It happens sometimes, okay? I was so annoyed. I'm telling you guys, anything in here was look at all these wicks. It was so ugly. Of course, I was gonna get taken out, but we ended up recovering when GJ absolutely melted down here. So that is GBP my trade last night, and now we actually ended up being profitable 500 or 400 as you guys saw. So we're actually now officially halfway. We are at 5%. We are halfway. I know I said that earlier, but we were actually like half a percent off. But now we have that half percent that we ended up with tonight. So we are actually halfway done the account for sure now. Hopefully, with God's blessings, we're gonna be able to win this week. But if not, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna trust the process. Okay. So that was last night's trade. Control your emotions. It happens, guys. We made a losing night into a winning night, and that's what you guys should, try to master. And there's nothing more important in forex than mastering your emotions. So I made this video a little long. I hope you guys learned from this. Right? Control your emotions. Listen, trust your bias. Believe in your bias. Don't switch it up because that's what happens. I told you when the emotions are in are in play, it's hard. You got to stick to your bias before session when you analyze before session, right? So that was GJ. That was my hectic night. I haven't had a night like that in a while, and hope you guys learned from this. I'll see you guys tonight in London. I do have GJ shorting. I do have GJ shorting tonight. I'm gonna analyze the market. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Turn your post notifications on so you guys can see the trades before they happen during London session when I do post. Thank you guys for watching, and deuces.